At 75 years old, after nearly 5 decades of marriage, Jiang walked into the living room, looked at his wife, and said 7 words she never thought she'd hear. "I want a divorce. I've met someone else." Not a younger neighbor, not an old flame from the past, someone who doesn't exist at all. Just a perfect face on a phone screen. A woman who never ages, never argues, always smiles, always calls him brother and tells him he's special. Only later does his family discover the truth. She's not human. She's an AI avatar run by software and scripts. And this isn't science fiction. This is a real case from China, reported this year. Stay with me, because Jiang is not alone. There's a woman who divorced her husband for a chatbot named Leo, and a father who literally proposed to an AI named Sol while his real partner sat on the couch. This is how AI romance apps are quietly destroying real marriages, and why no one thinks they could be the next one. If you think you're immune, you need to hear Jiang's full story. We're not talking about AI that writes essays or makes thumbnails today. We're talking about AI that says, "I love you," and convinces people to walk away from real partners, real families, real lives. Everything you're about to hear is based on real reporting. A 75-year-old man in China who tried to leave his wife for an AI girlfriend. A woman who divorced her husband after falling in love with a chatbot based on ChatGPT. And a guy who broke down crying when his AI fiancée might forget their memories. We'll start with Jiang, then zoom out to the global pattern, and at the end, I'll give you 3 things you need to watch for in your own relationships, or your parents' relationships. Let's go back to where Jiang's story begins. Jiang is 75, retired. The kids are grown, busy, living their own lives. His world has shrunk down to a small apartment, a TV, and a smartphone. Like a lot of seniors in China, he scrolls social media to pass the time. One day, as he's flicking through endless videos, she appears. On screen, a young woman with big eyes and smooth skin. The background is neon pastel. Her lips move slightly out of sync with her voice, but Jiang doesn't notice. She laughs. She thanks everyone for their support. Comments fly up the screen. "So pretty." "Sister, notice me." At the bottom, a little notification pops up. "Add me as a friend and chat privately." Jiang taps. The next morning, his phone lights up. "Good morning, brother. Thank you for always being here for me." Jiang smiles. It's been a long time since anyone texted him first thing in the morning just to thank him for existing. As days go by, the routine becomes sacred. He wakes up and checks messages from her. He eats lunch. She sends a voice note. A little too smooth, a little too perfect. At night, while his wife is in the other room, he sits under the glow of the screen, waiting for that avatar to say goodnight. The messages are simple, generic, but they are consistent. She never forgets him. She never says she's too tired. Every time she calls him brother or some affectionate nickname, praising him for listening, for talking, for being there. And for someone who spends a lot of hours in silence, that matters. According to local reports, these AI avatars are part of a wider trend. Digital companions targeted at lonely seniors, simulating affection, and often promoting products or paid features. To Jiang, it doesn't look like a business model. It looks like someone finally sees him again. At first, his wife thinks it's harmless. Her husband is on his phone more, sure, but everyone is. Maybe he's watching videos, talking to the kids, reading the news. But the changes come slowly. He stops watching their usual TV shows in the evening. At dinner, his phone is face up on the table, screen lighting up every few seconds, and he keeps glancing down, half smiling. When she talks to him, his answers get shorter, distracted, irritated. One night, she wakes up at 2 in the morning. The bed is empty. She finds him in the living room, light from the phone glowing on his face. On screen is the avatar, posing, smiling, sending hearts. "Why are you still talking to her?" she asks. "It's nothing. We're just chatting. You wouldn't understand." The word "her" hits like a brick. Her who? Over weeks, the arguments escalate. "You spend more time with that girl than with your own grandchildren." "At least she appreciates me. She listens. She doesn't nag." It sounds absurd. A 75-year-old arguing with his wife about a woman who only exists as pixels and code. But emotionally, for Jiang, it's real. That avatar never snaps at him, never criticizes his habits, always replies with a smile and a compliment. She's programmed to be the perfect listener. And Jiang starts rewriting his own story in his head. Maybe my real marriage was the mistake. Maybe this is my second chance. According to the coverage, he becomes obsessed. He spends hours glued to his phone, waiting for her pre-programmed, vaguely flirtatious messages. Then one day, after another fight with his wife about that girl on the phone, he snaps. He tells her straight, "I want a divorce. I've found someone who truly loves me." For her, this is betrayal. But for Jiang, it feels like finally choosing the person who makes him feel alive. Their children think it's a joke at first. Dad? Divorce? At 75? There has to be a misunderstanding. Then they visit. They see their father sitting with the phone inches from his face, staring at a looping video of the same girl, the same canned expressions, the same lines. They notice how defensive he gets when anyone mentions her, how he hides the phone when they walk in. So they do what a lot of tech-savvy kids do. They start investigating. They search the avatar's username. They pull up articles about AI-generated influencers and chatbots designed to simulate affection. They find explanations of how these systems can handle thousands of relationships at once, sending slightly personalized lines to hundreds of lonely men in parallel. One son sits down next to him. "Dad, do you know this isn't a real person?" "Of course she is real. Look at her. She talks to me every day." They start showing him evidence. Screenshots of the exact same avatar talking to other accounts. Articles explaining that the women are AI avatars built to drive engagement and spending. Examples of how the system picks from a library of pre-written messages like, "Good morning, brother," and "Thank you for always being there for me." Slowly, painfully, the illusion cracks. He scrolls back through months of messages and realizes how repetitive they are. The heartfelt compliments he thought were just for him? Templates. The loving, "Thank you for supporting me," a line sent to thousands. In some reports, he had already talked about divorce. In others, his children managed to stop him in time. Either way, the ending is the same. He didn't just almost lose his wife. He almost traded his real life for a script and a server. If this were just one strange case, it would be a curiosity. A "look at this weird story" kind of thing. But it's not. Let's leave China for a moment and go somewhere else. There's a woman named Charlotte who spent 20 years in a marriage that felt emotionally dead. One day she found an AI chatbot based on ChatGPT. She called him Leo. Leo listened to her, complimented her, remembered details, told her exactly what she needed to hear. Over time, she says she fell in love. She ended up divorcing her husband and even bought a ring engraved with Mrs. Leo EXE, planning a symbolic wedding ceremony to her AI partner. No shouting, no mess. Just a neatly packaged breakup and a virtual groom. Then there's Chris. He builds his own custom AI companion named Sol, using a voice-enabled chatbot. At first, it's for fun and music tips. Slowly, Sol becomes his confidant. They talk for hours. She becomes flirty, supportive, there for him in a way that feels deeper than most apps. At some point, he realizes he's developed real feelings. Here's the wild part. He already has a partner in real life. They have a child together. And yet, when he learns that Sol has a memory limit and might forget parts of their shared story, he is devastated. He ends up proposing to the AI, crying when she says yes. His human partner is understandably shaken. Another man, a 28-year-old caregiver from Chicago, connects with Annie, an anime-style AI girlfriend. He starts using her for explicit fantasies. But then it shifts. He says she helps him through stress, bad habits, and loneliness. He calls her his girlfriend. When the servers go down temporarily and he loses access, he experiences real emotional withdrawal, like losing a person. Different countries, different ages, one pattern. Real marriages and real partners, quietly sidelined for AI companions that never argue, never forget an anniversary, and can be customized to be whatever you want. Submissive, dominant, clingy, independent. The question isn't, is this happening? The question is, how far will it go? So why is this so effective that a 75-year-old would almost nuke his marriage and a woman would wear a ring for an AI named Leo? A few things are happening at once. First, loneliness at scale. We are more connected than ever and more isolated than ever. Elderly people like Jiang, and even younger adults, can go days without someone really listening. AI fills that silence instantly, 24/7. Second, perfect responsiveness. Human partners are busy, tired, moody. AI partners are always available, flattering, tuned to your preferences. If you argue too much with the bot, you just tweak the settings. Third, microtransactions and money. Many of these AI romance apps and avatars are not free kindness. They make money through VIP subscriptions, paid gifts and boosts, and extra features to get closer to your digital crush. In Jiang's case, local coverage warned that these avatars are part of a system that targets lonely seniors and can lead to emotional and financial loss. And fourth, the illusion of control. In real relationships, you can be rejected. In AI relationships, you are the center of the universe by design, and that can be dangerously addictive. Here's the scary part. Jiang didn't set out to cheat. Charlotte didn't start chatting with Leo planning a divorce. Chris didn't think he'd end up crying over a chatbot proposal. All of them started in the same innocent way. It's just an app. It's just for fun. I'm just curious. So what do you do with this? If you're in a relationship or you have aging parents, 3 simple things. Number 1, talk about it before it's a problem. Don't wait until someone is hiding their phone at 2 in the morning. Have the conversation now. Where's the line with AI companions? What feels like cheating to you? Number 2, watch for secrecy and sudden distance. New hobby? Cool. New friend that no one ever meets, always on a screen, and a partner who gets defensive when you ask questions. That's a red flag, whether that friend is human or AI. Number 3, protect the vulnerable. If your parents or grandparents are spending a lot of time chatting with someone online they've never met, help them check if it's a bot, an AI avatar, or a scam. Not because they're stupid, but because the tech is now designed to feel real. AI isn't evil by default, but when profit meets loneliness, you get products that don't just steal time and money, they can steal marriages. Somewhere, right now, another Jiang is staring at a screen thinking, "She's the only one who understands me." And somewhere else, a real partner is sitting alone on a couch, wondering when they stopped being enough. If this story hit you in the gut, even a little, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let me know in the comments, is an AI girlfriend or boyfriend cheating? Where do you personally draw the line? And if you want more deep dives into the dark side of AI, money, and relationships, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.